Out of all the tiers in World of Tanks Blitz, you will find the most in Tier 8, sitting at 94 vehicles to be exact. And out of 94 tanks, there's only one that we're going to be talking about, in my opinion, that is the best out of all of them in today's video. And that would be the one you're looking at right in front of you, the Emil 1, the Tier 8 Tech Tree Swedish heavy tank. Now, of course, this is an opinion. If any of you disagree with me, you think the Chimera or even the Emil 1951 is better, please let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. But I'll be showing you, in my opinion, why this is an extremely strong tank, and I rate this to be the best vehicle because, first of all, it's not a premium, which means it's free. But even if it was a premium tank, it still would be a fantastic vehicle, and I'll be breaking into everything you need to know in today's video. So obviously, if you enjoy videos like this and you'd like to see maybe a video on Tier 9, Tier 10, Tier 8, or I'm doing Tier 8, Tier 7, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But yeah, let's get straight into the Emil, talk about the strengths and the weaknesses. Now, the gun has some very good things, but as well, some very bad things. The dispersion and the aiming time, yeah, they're quite poor. 0.349, you're not going to be hitting many opponents, probably further than at about 200 meters away. But thankfully, this tank is not meant to be a long-range sniper. Usually with this vehicle, you're sitting semi-frontline, should I say, depends on how you're playing it. Hull down, you're always frontline, but if you're on flat terrain, you got to be a little bit more careful. It's got a decent amount of damage per minute at 2,021, but this is where the banger comes in. 320 damage per shot with a 3-shell gun, dealing 960 damage in a matter of 6 seconds. That is what I call deadly. That's pretty dang, you're taking off half of any Tier 8 heavy hit point pool in 6 seconds, and then you're just backing up, and with the speed boost this vehicle does carry, you're able to go reverse at 28 kilometers per hour, and that can get you out of some extremely tricky situations. Now, without the speed boost, you still go 20 in reverse, which is very fast, and it's not even that immobile as it goes 35 forwards and 43 with your speed boost on. I love this tank. It's got some great features going for it. And before we do get into this replay, you'll see how good the armor is on this tank. Now, we're looking at this vehicle with a T26C5. It's got good standard pen at 221, and the premium is at 265. And this is what the front of the tank looks like. Yeah, that's right. The turret at flat ground is 240 thick, 250 on the edges, and the hull is 260 on the upper plate. Now, granted, you're usually aiming down on the hull because you're taller than the vehicle, but either way, that's very, very thick. And if you're hull down, well, look at that turret armor go. Even with heat, you're not penetrating that turret unless you hit that bar in the middle, because it's over 315 millimeters thick. So yeah, this thing's got some incredible frontal armor, and that's over 265 heat penetration. The sides of the tank, however, are very, very weak. Yeah, incredibly weak at that, same for the rear. So you do got to be careful where you are poking the vehicle, but it is such a fantastic tank, and yeah, that's why I picked it. Now, I played about 10 games in the vehicle today, and I didn't have the best win rate. I was only about 62.5%. I really would have liked to sit around 70 with this type of tank, but yeah, man, the teams are just not having it today. But I still averaged almost 3,000 damage in the vehicle. And the reason you're able to average such a high amount is because you're virtually impenetrable to any Tier 7s and most Tier 8s when you're hull down. And what that means is, like you're going to see me play here, I'm going to put on my speed boost, get very aggressive in the position, and once I'm in position, basically nothing is going to pen me. And I'm able to use that 960 potential damage, dump it out, and back straight back into cover. That's all you do in this type of tank. But autoloaders with armor are the dream team. Imagine a tank where you can use a clip, but as well not worry about being penetrated, like an AMX-50B, but with armor. Yeah, that's basically what the Emil 1 is like. So here we go. The first shell goes right into the side of the Panther. A little bit of a high roll there for 328. Second one going straight into the Type 62. And then we've got our third one loaded in. And we're aiming it on the Panther. And yeet! There you have it. 981 damage. Pretty quickly dumped out as well. Gotta lower my volume, it seems like. Very, very loud today. But yeah, 981 damage dumped out already in that very quick amount of time. And then we're just back reloading. You can see I've blocked 360 damage, taken none myself, and that's it. That is how you play the Emil. And this is why I rate it such an incredibly strong tank. Now, first of all, I rated this above a lot of premiums because it's free. Being free is a big counter in my argument, because if you have to drop $100 to count it as the best tank in Tier 8, it's really not the best tank in Tier 8. It's just called pay to win at that point. But as well, even with this tank being a tech tree, believe it or not, I think it has one of the highest tech tree credit coefficients in the game. There's one very annoying thing, though. You'll notice I had to use both of my repair kits there. I had my track destroyed, and I did the right thing by repairing the track. But what I didn't realize was that my driver was dead as well. So I just used both of my repair kits, sucked some of my credits out. Yeah, not great, but you know what, we're doing okay. We're already at 1900 damage here, but the TS5 is going to cut right through my turret because, of course, that vehicle has an incredibly high amount of premium penetration. Now, I unfortunately hit that TS5, or not the TS5, the E75 TS's gun, but we got the second round in. As you can see, that premium pen is plenty to cut through basically any armor. Now, you might be wondering, why am I sitting here? Well, I'm actually sitting here purposely to wedge my turret up. You can see the C75 TS, he's trying to aim in on my turret. Now, here he does go through my hull, which was actually a very nice snap from him. I'll give him credit. He went right through the side armor, but the plan was I was going to wedge my turret up just like I got that first bounce so that the guy could not penetrate me. So, yeah, it wasn't a bad idea, but sadly, it looks like my hull is just a little bit too much sticking out. Now, at this point, I realize the TS5 is at 700 hit points, which means I don't really need to worry about him. We're going to pen one shell, two shells into him, and we would have penned the third, but looks like my teammate took all that effort right off of me. We're now sitting at over 3,000 damage this game. Did it seem like I did 3,000? I bet it didn't. It's super easy to rack up that damage in this vehicle because of that clip. It's only about 3 clips, and you're basically at 3,000 damage. And you don't realize that until you've basically done 3 clips. But like again, boom, max shell to the side of that IS-3 for 400. We're going to get a second shell finishing him off. And are we going to be able to get a shell to this Type 62? Well, let's skip up a teeny bit. There we go, and loading that HE8. Boom, perfect shell in the rear. And that's 3,913 damage for the first game. We survived the battle. And I even made a bit of credits, judging how many premium rounds I did have to fire there at the enemy tanks. And I did use my repair kits wrong. So, yeah, not bad at all. And you can definitely see that the Emil one did a great job that first game. The second game was actually the first one I played in the vehicle today. And this is a great one as well. You're going to see, again, how it's able to just rip into players that don't know what they're doing. This M6 experimental on the enemy team made a couple mistakes this game, and because of that, I was just able to rip into his vehicle. So we can skip ahead a bit, because obviously it's just going to waste your time if we don't. Don't worry too much about that. Now, this is a map where you can't be hull down. As I said before, this tank is mainly meant to play hull down. When you play the Kranvang, when you play the Emil 2, these tanks are physically, in my opinion, only meant to be played in hull down positions if you want to run them aggressive. So you can see here I'm being very, very cautious and careful. But we did get a nice shot into the side of the AMX. I got a lucky bounce there. And I was like, well, if the M6 is on a long reload, let's just get one tap into the side of his turret and 2 taps into the side of his turret. And with that, we're already sitting at 1,381 damage in our first clip. I think we got a fire on that AMX or something. I don't exactly remember what happened, but yeah, we're sitting at a very high amount of damage, a little bit more than we would have with our normal gun. Now, I'm expecting that M6 to be facing the opposite way, so as you can see, I'm waiting for my clip to reload, using that time to reposition, so I'm just going to be reloaded by the time I pull around this corner. He's not aiming at me. There is 1 shell into the M6. We're going to go for a second shell into him, and I know that he's not a one-shot, so I'm just going to get the Progetto, not worry about risking my hit points on the M6 Experimental. And with that, we're at 2,500. Again, that's so easy to rack up damage. Even without that fire, we still easily would have been sitting at 2,000 damage right now, and it would have been 1 more clip, and that's 3. That's how easy it is to rack up that damage. So, yeah, what are we going to do now? So, I was actually worried. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't realize the M6 was right off to my side. Which, I mean, not off to my side, misspoke there. He was around the corner. I didn't realize that, so I could have gotten a little bit more shells into the Progetto. But as I did say, there's that bad on-movement dispersion. It's not amazing, and you will have struggles like this. But, thankfully, with that 320 average damage, I secured myself the kill on the Progetto, raking in that 3,164 damage. And all that's left is the Emil 2. You can see I'm wedging that turret up and getting that bounce because of that. Again, that incredible hot-on capability. We even bounced a Tier 9 Heavy with about 240 millimeters of standard pen. So now I'm just going to reload, and 3, 2, 1. I didn't want to track him, actually, because I knew my teammates were going to shoot him if I did, so big-brained him there. Didn't track him. We got 1 shell, 2 shells, and 4,166 damage later, easily coming out with that victory. This is, again, how the Emil is able to be played, and why I rate it as basically the easiest and best Tier 8 to play in the game. It's fantastic for tournaments. It's great for ratings. In fact, you can see that this is a tank I used when ratings came out because I wanted to get the camo on it. It's such a fantastic vehicle. It's one of my higher performing Tier 7s in the game, or Tier 8s in the game at 77% with almost 3,000 average damage. Fantastic tank. And yeah, I would highly suggest anybody that hasn't tried out this vehicle to try it out. Hopefully, all of you enjoyed today's video. If you would like to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. But other than that, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.